Today, we're diving into something that every dentist who owns a practice needs to know: financial statements. I'm your host, Rado from Bookminder, and in this episode, we're going to briefly discuss the three most important financial reports you will need: the balance sheet, the profit and loss, and the cash flow statement. I'll walk you through what each one is, why it matters, and how to use it to run your practice more efficiently and profitably. Why financial statements matter. As a dentist and practice owner, it's not just about providing top notch patient care, it's also about running a successful business. And to do that, you need to be able to understand your financial reports, or where your money is coming from and where it's going. Each report provides a unique view of your practice's finances, and together, combined, they give you a complete picture. So let's start with the statement you are probably most familiar with: the profit and loss, called also the P&L statement or the income statement. This report shows your practice's revenue, expenses, and profit or loss over a specific period, typically monthly, quarterly, or yearly. So here is how it breaks down. It has revenue. This is the total income your practice earns from providing dental services. It's important to break the revenue in 2 or 3 buckets so that you know more specifically where your money is coming from and compare it over time. It has also cost of goods sold, or COGS. These are the direct costs of providing your services. For a dental practice, that might include the cost of dental supplies, lab fees, equipment maintenance. Keeping an eye on COGS is important as it directly affects your profitability. Operating expenses. These are the costs to run your practice, such as salaries, rent, utilities, marketing, and insurance. Some of these expenses are fixed, like rent, while others fluctuate, like marketing or supplies. Track your operating expenses closely and look for areas where you can save or improve efficiency. Your accountant should be able to provide you with industry standards. Net income. This is your bottom line, the amount left after all revenue and expenses are accounted for. If your revenue is higher than your expenses, you'll have a net profit. Now, a lot of practice owners look at the P&L and say, there is no way I got this kind of cash in my bank account. To understand where your cash is gone, you need to look into the other statements and talk to your accountant. Actionable tip for the P&L statement. Look for trends. If certain costs are rising quickly, like lab fees or staff salaries, consider how you can streamline those expenses. Also, keep an eye on your profit margins. Aim for a profit margin that aligns with industry standards for a dental practice, usually around 20 to 30%. So let's move on to the balance sheet, which is essentially a snapshot of your practice's financial position at a specific moment in time. Remember, the P&L is for a select period, whereas the balance sheet is just at a certain date. The balance sheet has 3 main sections. Assets. These are things your practice owns, such as cash, accounts receivable, money owed to you by patients or insurance. Inventory. Long-term assets, such as your office building, equipment, and other property that will provide value over the next several years. It also has liabilities. These are your practice's debts and obligations, like accounts payable, money you owe for dental supplies or services, long and short-term loans for your office building or equipment financing. Lastly, it has the equity part, which is basically the difference between your assets and your liabilities. It represents your practice's net worth, not as a market value, but as per the books. For a dental practice, this is typically the owner's equity, which is the investment you have made into your practice. A key item of the balance sheet is that it has to balance. That is, assets should equal equity and liabilities. The balance sheet is the first statement where accountants look to see if there are any issues. The last financial report we'll talk about is the cash flow statement. The cash flow statement breaks down your cash inflows and outflows into 3 main sections. Operating activities. This section shows the cash that comes in and out of your practice due to your daily operations. For example, the cash you collect from patient payments, along with the cash you spend on salaries, supplies, and other operating expenses. The investing activities, the section includes cash flows related to buying and selling long-term assets, like purchasing new dental equipment or selling old equipment. Finally, the financing activities. Here you see cash flows related to borrowing or repaying loans, as well as any capital contributions or dividends paid out to the owners. Why it matters? A positive cash flow means you have enough money to pay bills and invest in the growth of your practice. On the other hand, negative cash flow can indicate cash shortages or that you are not collecting enough from your patients. Even if you are showing a profit on your P&L statement, poor cash flow can still put your practice at risk. How to use these statements together? So now that we've covered the three key financial statements, you're probably wondering how to use them together to make better business decisions. Here is how they work in tandem. The balance sheet shows you what you owe and at a certain point, helping you assess practice's financial health. The profit and loss statement shows you whether your practice is generating a profit or operating at a loss over a period of time, giving you a sense of profitability. Finally, the cash flow statement helps you understand whether you have enough cash to run the practice day to day and how much you're investing back into the business. To sum up, understanding your balance sheet, profit and loss statement, and cash flow statement is key to maintaining the financial health of your dental practice. These reports are not just numbers. They're tools that provide you valuable insights into the financial well-being of your business. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope this episode helps you gain more control over your practice's financial future. If you have any questions or want more guidance on these financial statements, feel free to reach out or just leave a comment below.